Kahani Bar brings you a cocktail of short stories in English and in Hindustani. I am Payal and today's story is from Fauji Heart, a collection of short stories set in the army backdrop, written for you by Neerja K. Olive Green Heart. The color olive green, better known in Fauji parlance as OG, is the color of the Indian Army's uniform. Colonel R.N. Nair sat in his barracks that served as his office, gazing out of the window at nothing in particular. He had taken over the command of this unit just a fortnight ago. It was a border area and very sensitive one at that. Vigil had to be maintained round the clock. It was difficult to differentiate between innocent locals and deceitful militants trying to cross the porous border all the time. There were no natural defenses, only a vast landmass that could be violated very easily, despite the barbed wire fencing and other man-made defenses. It had been raining for 2 days straight, not heavily, but constant shower, slowing down intermittently to a fine drizzle. Grey winters, how depressing they can get. Those who have suffered them will understand. Clouds of various hues of dark, grey, black, light grey, and sometimes fluffy white. A patch of blue sky seems like an elusive dream. The sun does not oblige for days on end. The constant sound of dripping rainwater from the roofs onto the ground below, forming little puddles on the gravel, only seems to add to the gloom. This dreary weather has a unique ability to creep into one's soul and nag and tug at one's heart, especially if you're hundreds of miles away from your loved ones. From the window, Colonel Nair could see the smoking chimneys of the distant village that lay across the border. There were a similar cluster of huts that lay on this side of the line of control. Colonel Nair knew that it had been a single village till the partition of the country created the divide in the land. It had led to the pain of separation for the people who did not understand the political divides and military limits imposed on their lands and hearts. His gaze floated idly across a long row of barracks and beyond the quarter guard. Suddenly, he spotted a lone figure standing at a little distance away from the sentry, who was guarding the stretch of the border. He had observed that old man standing there every day. The old man held a battered umbrella and was looking straight across no man's land and beyond. His gaze seemed fixed on the smoke that rose from the distant hamlet. Colonel Nair had become aware of his existence from day one, but the process of taking over from the outgoing CO had kept him very busy. As a part of his job, anything and everything in his area became his business, including the old man's activities. He had inquired about him from the outgoing CO, but he had simply brushed it off by saying, "Never mind him. He is as harmless as the bush next to him." But now he had to investigate. In his heart, he knew the old man was looking for an opportunity to run across the LOC. He would not have been there day after day in rain or sunshine just to enjoy the scenery. Not that nature offered much, or to meditate. He sent for Captain Ranbir, his adjutant. When Captain Ranbir arrived, Colonel Nair heard him hang up his coat parka on his hat rack in the corridor. As he entered his office, Colonel Nair was amused to see that the coat parka had done little to keep his adjutant dry. Despite his soggy appearance, the young man clicked his heels and saluted his CO smartly. "Sir, good evening, sir." "Evening, Ranbir. Take a seat." Ranbir carefully pulled out a chair and sat on it stiffly. "Relax, Bir," said Colonel Nair, trying to put him at ease. He knew his reputation always travelled ahead of him. But Captain Ranbir was not going to let his guard down after what he had heard about Colonel Nair from other officers. They had warned him. Colonel Nair is as OG as any soldier can get. Legend has it he has no heart. If you cut open his veins, it would only confirm that his blood is olive green and not red. So, being his adjutant is an uphill task. He's going to have somebody's fried brains for breakfast every day, man. They all had laughed and took pity on him when he had been assigned to the new post. Colonel Nair observed and enjoyed Ranbir's uneasiness and repeated, "Relax, young man. I'm not going to eat you up. My lunch was quite sumptuous." "Yes, sir," said Captain Beer, trying to feel at ease but failing miserably. He smelled danger in the air. "Okay, let's get down to business. Who is that civilian in our lines and what business does he have here?" Ranbir cursed himself for not having the information. He had never felt so vulnerable in his entire life. He fumbled. Sir, he is actually, sir, no one knows much about him, sir." "What do you mean, no one knows? What kind of an answer is that?" yelled Colonel Nair. "Get this straight. It is your business to know about everything that creeps or does not creep, crawls or does not crawl, moves or does not move in our area. Is that clear?" Ranbir jumped to his feet and he could hear his heartbeat pounding in his ears. "Did I ask you to stand up? Keep sitting." Beer promptly sank back into the chair that he had just barely left. He fumbled. "Yes, sir, I've been on this post for only a month." The minute he uttered these words, he regretted opening his mouth. "1 month and you have not tried to find out what the old man is up to? Do you need a lifetime to do that?" thundered the OG monster. Pointing out of the window, he growled again. "Look at that! I tell you, man, he has got guts. Now the sentry is even sharing his tea and pakoda with him. I'm sure he is no harmless soul. He has to be connected to the local militants. I can bet you." He paced the barracks like a restless lion in a cage. "Damn it! Now don't stand like a statue. Go and find out everything about him," barked the colonel. "Everything means everything." "Yes, sir." Captain Beer wasted no time in retreating from the devil's den. Beer came out and heaved a sigh of relief. As he walked in the slush towards his target, he realized the dusk was approaching. Another depressing aspect of winters. Long evenings, and particularly more so for these soldiers, lonely and far away from their families, friends, and any decent civilization. He cursed under his breath and envied all his friends he had left behind in the glitz and glamour of the malls in Delhi. Here he was, in the wilderness, where there was not even a wayside pawn shop. He thought of the unappetizing afternoon lunch he had had this afternoon. If my mother saw what they fed me here, she would faint. "What the hell are you thinking about, Beer? Focus on the job assigned to you, or else your history," he thought to himself. Suddenly, he felt the heat of the colonel's burning eyes on his back, and that spurred him to walk faster. Luck did not seem to be on his side. By the time he reached his destination, through the slush and rain, the old man had left the post and was quite away on the kacha track that led to his village. Captain Beer started to grill the sentry. "Who is this old man?" "I do not know, sir. He comes every day around noon and leaves only at sundown. Everyone calls him Baba, but he does not talk to anyone. He just stares in that direction till daylight lasts and then leaves as quietly as he arrives. Sometimes we share some food with him, which he accepts, but he says not a single word." All this history I already know. Raul Bir. Find out more about him. CO Saab ka hukum hai. Sab, how can I? Baba does not talk to anyone. Bir was stern. I don't know. Maybe you could go to his village and find out from the other villagers. The sentry was somewhat relieved. Sab, that should be simple. I will do that first thing in the morning. Next morning, Colonel Nair instructed Captain Ranbir to present the old man in his office as soon as he arrived. Yes, sir, saluted the captain, feeling jubilant that the CO had taken it upon himself to carry out this strange investigation. Now, there was no need to send anyone to the village, not yet at least. At the 12th gong from the quarter guard, the old man appeared. Captain Ranbir was already there waiting for him. Baba, aapko CO saab ne yaad kiya hai. The CO is calling you in his office. Please come with me. The old man looked up, a faint question mark floating in his vacant eyes. Without saying anything, he started to follow the captain. It had rained throughout the night and was still pouring. The old man's tattered umbrella, most probably as old as himself, was trying its best to protect its master from the relentless rain. The umbrella was unable to be of much use, and he was completely drenched by the time he stood outside the CO's office, trying to close the disobedient umbrella. Reluctantly, after quite a struggle, it closed into a crooked mass, which he left outside the door in a corner. Standing to one side, he waited for further orders. Captain Beer took pity on him and gave him some free advice. CO साहब बहुत कड़क है, जो पूछे बता देना. The CO is very harsh and cold-hearted. Answer his queries promptly. Captain Ranbir entered the CO's office with caution. Sir, he is here. We shall take a break here. What was Baba's story? Was he really an innocent civilian or an informer working for some militant group? Tune in next week for the second part of this story to find out the answers as the mystery of Baba unfolds. Till then, twiddle your thumbs, have a think, and take care.